It's summer 2018 and we've already seen lots of new rides go out to all these different amusement parks across the country, but you can't help but look forward to the 2019 season. And what's great about Six Flags is every park gets something new every single year. Some sort of new attraction or ride. And so it is tradition here at Coaster Studios that we make our predictions for what each park will be getting. As usual, these are predictions. We will know for sure what these parks will be receiving on August 30th when the park makes the big announcement. We'll find out if I am right or if I am wrong, but that's all in the fun of it. If I'm right, it'll be pretty cool, and if I'm wrong, oh well. So we're going to jump right into it, starting with the largest Six Flags park, the flagship Six Flags Magic Mountain. And they look to be getting the most distinct roller coaster out of all of the Six Flags parks. The most original one that we know of. The popular rumor is that they'll be getting a coaster from Mock Rides. This is not something that we have seen with Six Flags up until this point. And so it's very interesting to think that they will actually be receiving something from Mock Rides. They're well known for their launch coasters. We already know one is going to Carowinds, so it's kind of crazy that we might be seeing two come to America next year. So I'm going to stick with those rumors and say that that is what they'll be getting. Now what we know is that Six Flags has filed for two trademarks that might be for Magic Mountain's 2019 coaster. We have Max Force and West Coast Racers. Now between these two, the popular rumor is that we'll be seeing West Coast Racers. One, because it logically makes the most sense with Magic Mountain being on the West Coast, but also they have actually begun teasing on these construction walls, possibly hinting that we could be seeing a racing or dueling coaster. This is very interesting, especially since the popular rumor is that this is from Mock Rides, and that Magic Mountain already has Twisted Colossus, which is a racing/dueling coaster. So I'm very curious to see what they could possibly be doing here. As for the ride experience itself, the layout is relatively unknown. We haven't heard anything. The only thing we really know is that the location is going to be in the back left portion of the park. Back over towards Apocalypse, the go-karts. The one thing Six Flags Magic Mountain has been doing is renovating certain sections of the park at a time. And I think it is definitely that part's turn to get an update. So I'm sure they'll do well rounding out that area. But let's move on to Six Flags Great Adventure. What Great Adventure has been doing is within the past few years they have added an entire new section of the park. I'm talking the area with Justice League and Cyborg. And that area still feels a little incomplete. They have some land on either side where you can do something. So I'm going to say that they'll be getting a Zamperla giant frisbee next to Cyborg. This is one of their Discovery models. You can find one at Six Flags New England and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. They are great rides. They're actually my favorite frisbees. The world's largest one just went to Magic Mountain. And Six Flags, they're like Costco. They buy everything in bulk. And so I would not be surprised if we have a few more of these going out to the chain next year. Moving on to Great America, they have cleared an area where the Pictorium is. Now what's interesting about this area is that this could be a section of the park where they could put something in the water park or the dry park, because this area is kind of in between. And we don't really know exactly. We've seen a few teasers by the park, and based off of those teasers, I'm going to guess that it's going to be for the water park. So my prediction is that they'll be getting a water coaster. The last water coaster built in the chain was a few years ago at Fiesta, Texas, so we know that they're at least interested in possibly adding some to Six Flags parks. Fiesta, Texas in the past has been the prototype park. They send one there first and then possibly distribute it to others later, so it could be a possibility. And I'm really surprised that we haven't seen another one come to the chain yet, so I'm going to say that Great America will be getting a water coaster for Hurricane Harbor next year. Let's talk about Fiesta, Texas. They just got an RMC Raptor. Great ride. I would not expect anything large. Oftentimes when you just get a new roller coaster the following year, you kind of take a year off. So I'm going to guess that they'll probably be getting a couple family attractions. Nothing huge. Over Georgia, it is about time that they expand Hurricane Harbor. The last time they expanded Hurricane Harbor was when they built the water park. Every addition since has been to the dry park, and since they just got Twisted Cyclone, I think it is time to turn the attention back to the water park and add a few more additions. And you can do a variety of things. Their water park right now is not very big. So you throw in a slide complex, add in another family splash area, and they have tons of land, so there's really plenty of opportunities where they could do something nice for Hurricane Harbor. Six Flags over Texas. Now this one, I feel good about this prediction, but also I'm a little hesitant. My prediction is a Skywarp, and the reason why I think that would be a good fit is because first of all, Over Texas does not have a super loop, so this would be a different enough attraction. But the reason why I'm hesitant in this prediction is because I'm wondering if after all the problems that Harley Quinn has had over with Discovery Kingdom, with it opening way later than it should, and I'm hearing some reviews that it is not that great, I'm wondering if Six Flags is going to be installing some more of these at all. But like I said, they buy things in bulk, and so the fact that they would only be getting one in the chain and it's at Discovery Kingdom, it just doesn't sound right. So I'm guessing that we will be seeing some after all, and hopefully they'll just be able to work out the kinks so that there aren't any issues when they open. So I'm going to say a Skywarp for over Texas and New England. And the reason I pick those locations is because they are spread out. If they do this, you will have one on the East Coast, one in the Midwest, and one on the West Coast. Let's talk about Six Flags Mexico. Another new attraction that Six Flags debuted this past year is a tourbillon ride. This is from ABC. It really is this cool looking attraction. And this is kind of the same situation as the Skywarp. I'm hearing it's actually not as good as it looks, but it's really cool to the eye. And I think the general public probably freak out when they see it, just because it's so crazy looking. So I would not be surprised if we see a couple more of these go out on the chain. Six Flags Mexico being one of them. I would not be surprised if we see one here, especially since they just got a coaster and they could use a few more attractions in the thrill rides department. Six Flags St. Louis. Their last coaster they received was a used Boomerang, which has had its fair share of issues, and when I was there it wasn't even open, so it definitely doesn't have the best track record. So I think it would be about time that they get a new roller coaster. And with these RMC Raptors being so cool, I think a great fit for one would be Six Flags St. Louis. And this is a great size park for it because it's not too big and it's not too small. Capacity is always an issue, but Six Flags St. Louis doesn't get a big enough attendance where I don't think it would be as big of a deal, especially if you have a moving loading station and are running 3 trains. But if they don't get that, I could also see them getting a Frisbee, but I really think that the Raptor would be the best fit here. It'd be another Raptor in the Midwest, but it is far enough north from Fiesta, Texas that I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. I think it'd be really nice for that area. Discovery Kingdom just got a Skywarp. Before that, we saw a Frisbee and an RMC. These are all kind of thrill attractions, and so my prediction is that they'll be getting family rides. I don't have any specific predictions, probably just a couple, off the shelf like carnival style attractions. Nothing major, but it has been a while since they've addressed that side of the park. Next up, we have Six Flags America. Now, what's interesting here is that we have some signs appearing around Apocalypse, which is a B&M stand-up coaster, and they are saying Terminus. Terminus implies terminal, aka the end, so the rumor is that Apocalypse is closing. Now, this was the first ever B&M coaster, so I doubt that the coaster is actually leaving, but it might be leaving as a stand-up coaster, and Apocalypse as a theme might be leaving. We've seen Mantis go to Rougarou, and Vortex go to Patriot. We're talking a B&M stand-up to floorless conversion. We have not seen one of these at a Six Flags park. However, it is possible that Six Flags may have seen this and decide to do this to a coaster at Six Flags America. And actually, I don't think this would be a bad fit at all. However, I do think that if they removed the Apocalypse theme, they better have a good theme to replace it with, because that's easily the most themed coaster in the park. So I do hope that whatever happens with it is an improvement. I do think that putting floorless trains on it would be a good thing. Right now, in the state that it is as a stand-up coaster, it's definitely not the most enjoyable ride. I'm just more concerned about the theme at the moment, because I do really like the theme of an apocalypse, so we'll just have to wait and see. Great Escape is up next, and I am going to make a bold prediction here. I'm thinking that there is no chance of this actually happening. However, if I end up being right, it would be fantastic. I'm going to say that they'll be getting a new roller coaster next year. They have not gotten a new roller coaster in forever, and their coaster lineup is kind of terrible. So I'm going to say that they'll be getting a Raptor. Not because I think they actually will, but because I think it'd be a great fit. It's about time they get a new coaster. There isn't a Raptor in that section of America, and if I end up being right, it will be amazing. It probably won't happen, but that's my prediction. So last and certainly least, we have La Ronde. And it is amazing to me that they do not have a super loop yet. That is the quintessential Six Flags ride, and this is the quintessential Six Flags park. You can get the Six Flags experience on the Six Flags ride. So it is about time that they get a super Super Loop. So that is my prediction that LaRond will be getting a Larson Super Loop next year. So those are my predictions for Six Flags parks in 2019. Let me know if you agree with me, if you think that any of my predictions are just flat out wrong, if there's no chance of them coming true, or if you agree with me, you can post all that down below. And of course, stay tuned for the official Six Flags announcements, which will be coming right at the end of summer. So stay tuned for those. I'll be breaking down all of them when they come out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys later.